Greetings, everyone. Pete Pardo here from Sea of Tranquility. Welcome to another episode of What's Hot with Sea of Tranquility. It's Wednesday, new release day here on the channel. Today, we're going to take a look at the brand new reissue, remix, deluxe edition of the 1976 album from Gentlegiant, Interview. Of course, Steven Wilson himself, once again, has applied his magic touch to another Gentlegiant album, another great prog album. And we're going to talk a little bit about this today. Let me just show you off. This is the double disc set, so this has both the CD and the Blu-ray with all sorts of fun stuff in the Blu-ray. And then here we've got a booklet which contains all sorts of information written by, I'm forgetting the gentleman's name, Mark Hudson from the Alucard label manager in North America. Of course, Alucard is Gentlegiant's label now, right, for all the reissues and things like that. So there you got a little kind of concert poster and some information on all the tracks, the history of the album, the recording, so on and so forth. And then the, of course, the remixing by Steven Wilson, plus all of the lyrics. And again, it's somewhat of a loose concept album. The concept is all about the band being interviewed and how kind of laissez-faire they all are about the actual interview process. That's kind of like the whole story behind this. And it's interesting how the beginning of some of the songs you get these little kind of discussion points and nobody seems to be talking much. It's really kind of like an interesting little concept here. But a very cool album. Probably, for most people, the end of the classic lineup or the classic run of albums, right? So, which, arguably you could say when that starts. Some people say that starts with the second album, Acquiring the Taste, and ends with Interview. Some people say it starts with the first album, it ends with Interview. Some people say it starts with the first album, ends with Freehand, and that this one is kind of like the bridge into the next couple, which aren't quite as successful from an artistic standpoint. However you feel, to me, this was the last really, really strong Gentlegiant album. I mean, The Missing Piece has its moments. Giant for a Day doesn't have many moments for me. Civilian is fun, but maybe not a classic album, and those are the last three albums. But to me, I think there is everything up to this, and then everything after. And to me, I always look at Interview as the last of the really, really strong albums from Gentlegiant, and I would say all the way from the beginning. There is the classic six, right? But then, you got the two that kind of bookend those classic albums, right? So, when you really think of it, right? You got Gentlegiant, you got Acquiring the Taste, you've got Three Friends, you got Octopus, you got In a Glass House, you got Power and the Glory, you got Freehand. You got this. I mean, that's a long run of really, really strong albums. But back to this one. And I'm not going to go too in-depth on the songs and things like that because we might be talking about this album in the very near future on another show on the channel. So I'll leave all that for that. I more want to talk about what you get with this and how it sounds. So you get on the CD, you get the 2023 Steven Wilson remix. Of course, Interview, Give It Back, Design, Another Show, Empty City, Timing, and I Lost My Head. I will say I've had numerous issues and reissues of this, and just to give you a little bit of information. So this album originally came out in 1976. In 1990, there were various vinyl reissues and issues over the years. In 1994, we saw the Terrapin Trucking remaster. Okay. 1996, we saw the One Way CD reissue. In 1999, we got the BGO reissue, okay, coupled with Freehand. It was like a two-on-one thing. You also got, in 2005, you got Derek Schulman's DRT remaster, okay, which was the 35th anniversary enhanced. And in 2012, there was a EMI Chrysalis Records reissue of this as well. And I believe that was also, they had a DVD with enhanced audio or some whatever, right? So I've heard this in various incarnations many times over the years. I will say Steven Wilson's remix sounds amazing. I was not shocked to hear that. I always thought that a lot of the songs on this album are very powerful. This is a very rock-oriented album for the most part. There's loads of prog on here too, but I just think that there's much more punch to some of this stuff. I think the intensity of this album kind of reminds me of a lot of Power and the Glory. There's some real up-tempo, heavy rocking stuff on both of these albums. You know, songs like Interview and I Lost My Head and Timing. There is much more force and power to some of the keyboards, like on Interview. And I went and listened to like my older version and listened to this like back to back the other day. And I was like, I definitely hear like Kerry Minier's organ and keyboards and Gary Green's guitars much more forceful in the mix up front. Everything is a little more up front and impactful. It's just when I listen to this remix, I'm just kind of like everything just explodes. There's much more clarity across the mix, and it allows all the instruments to really kind of take their place of where they should have been. When I went back and listened to the last remaster, I was kind of like, all right. So the beginning of Interview, when you're all bam 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 bam, you really hear the organ and the guitar on the remix more so than before. And I think there's also a clarity to the vocals on the whole album in general, which I think is really, really nice. So I don't know, to me, I've listened to this a bunch of times already, and I've listened to it in multiple places on multiple pieces of equipment. It sounds really good. Where it sounds even better is when you play it on the Blu-ray and listen to all the various options that they have and play it on your like home theater system. So I did that the other day as well. And what's really cool is during like, so you've got the Blu-ray contains 2023 Steven Wilson remix, Dolby Atmos mixes, album mixes, stereo mixes, instrumental mixes, the original 1976 quad mix, various other things. I mean, there's all sorts of stuff on here, so all sorts of variations. The instrumental mixes are really cool. I mean, I love these songs with vocals, obviously, but it's kind of cool to hear like all of the little instrumental bits that are going on through all of them without, paying attention to vocals and lyrics and things like that, and just hearing the music. And that's when you really realize just how uncanny these guys were with coming up with this shit. I mean, it's just crazy, right? So that was really cool. The quad mix, I'm not sure if I could tell a lot of difference in the quad mix. I know back then a quad mix was something really special. Today, not quite sure. I will say the new stereo and 5.1 mixes are astounding. I don't have the most sophisticated system, so to me, the Dolby Atmos mixes didn't really sound all that much different from the stereo and the 5.1. I guess if you have an amazing stereo system, you can really get the full gist of what they've done here, right? But for me, they sound amazing. And what's really cool is, while you're playing any of these new mixes on your home theater system, as each track comes up, you get different visuals, right? So like on for like Interview and I Lost My Head, I'm trying to remember for any of the others, there's actual kind of like band performances going on. It's probably all lip syncing stuff, right? You can kind of tell a little bit, but it looks like really authentic, like they're actually playing, but it's actually the studio version of the song that's playing. And then you get to see them strutting around in a like white studio and just kind of hamming it up on stage like as if they're playing a concert. Really, really cool. And then you get animation with some of the other tracks and things and lyrics and all that kind of stuff. So you're not just listening, you can actually sit and watch while you're hearing these new mixes. And like I said, you got all sorts of versions, which is cool depending on what kind of equipment you have and how how much you can take advantage of some of this. But I think it sounds really great. And to me, again, I've said this before, it's like I never really had an issue with the original mixes of any of these Gentle Giant albums, but sometimes depending on whether you're listening to the original vinyl or early CD issues, some of these albums have a little bit of hiss and they're a little on the muddy side and really not all that dynamic. Now they're really, really dynamic, and I think this kind of music really deserves this kind of extra special attention to make sure all the little pieces that went into putting these songs together can fully be heard in the mix. And I think Steven Wilson has done that. And again, everything he's touched with the Gentle Giant catalog, to my ears, sounds absolutely spectacular. It sounded spectacular beforehand, but even more so now. It's like you're really hearing, I think, these albums the way the band originally wanted you to, but, with the limitation in technology and things, not always so successful. So, and I think, Steven Wilson has always said he is trying not to recreate these albums at all. He's trying to pay, he loves these records. He doesn't want to change the original integrity of them, but he just wants to make sure that everybody can kind of hear everything that was available there in the best possible way, right? So he doesn't touch them up too much. You may hear little things you didn't hear before. To me, it's more like I'm hearing little bits and passages and riffs and things more pronounced to my ears, and that's a good thing, and it just sounds more powerful. I mean, I literally, the first time I put this in and the title track came on, I was just kind of like, whoa, look at that. That's impressive. That's the way I want to hear Interview, right? So yeah, so that's my little quick little review of Interview, Steven Wilson 2023 remix. If you're a fan of the band and you've been following a lot of these remixes that he's done, you're going to want to hear this. It's a great album, and it sounds even better now. So that's my take on it. Thanks for watching. Visit us on the web at www.seaoftranquility.org. We're on Facebook, we're on YouTube, all together, all the damn time. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and click on that notification bell so you get alert of all of our content as it posts. And please do hit the like button before you leave. Also, down below, we got the links to our Ko-Fi page for channel donations as well as our merch page. So thanks for all your help there, and thanks for watching. And we'll see you soon here on Wednesday. What's Hot with Sea Tranquility Day? Got more reviews coming up at you, so stay tuned for more. Hope to get you new Steve Lukather. I got a stack of stuff I'm going to try and get to as much as I can this week. So and over the next week, because I literally have probably 20 here that I'm trying to digest and bring to you guys. So I'll do it all in time. So thanks for watching, everybody. I'm Pete Pardo. We'll see you real soon. Bye-bye.